Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And man, we got kind of a big story for you. Paramount is joining Warner Brothers in taking a massive multi-billion-dollar write-down. But now we knew Paramount was in big trouble because they're going to sell off to Skydance.
Well, I'm just like, one, is anybody surprised?
No.
And two, does anybody actually care?
No.
I mean, that's the thing. I'm just like...
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about one of the side effects, which
this is more interesting.
Yeah, this is interesting. They sold off comicbook.com and pop culture. I think it's popculture.com to, I believe, the guy who was the CEO or the guy who ran those sites. But I'm sure he got them very cheap. If like an individual can buy them, I'm sure he got them very cheap. And these are sites that they picked up from someplace else. Like they were going around. I remember CBS and Paramount, they were buying a whole bunch of sites and they sold off a whole bunch of video game sites. If they're selling comicbook.com, that's one of the few sites they actually held onto, and they were using it to basically pimp Star Trek. If they're selling that, it means it's not making any damn money.
I'll have to update my flow chart on who owns what. I haven't done it for a couple of years. I'll need to update it now.
Yeah, but yeah, it's complicated now. It basically
it's complicated before, but
everything winds up at IGN now, and then they shut it down. But yeah, so this is pretty interesting news. I have to wonder if comicbook.com is going to change or what. Nobody cares about comic books. Nobody apparently cares about Star Trek anymore, so they might not have any more coverage of that. But let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
A lot of stories about the entertainment industry imploding. Everybody basically doused themselves in kerosene and lit themselves on fire chasing streaming.
Pretty much. And we said that was going to happen.
Yeah.
We said it then this is going to happen. And what's going to happen is going to be too much. It's going to be cable all over again, and they're going to eat each other, or they're going to merge, which we kept saying that because we kept seeing it with other things. And it's with blogs and stuff. They just kept buying each other up, and to stay viable, they had to like merge. And that's exactly what happened.
Yep. So this is coming from CNN, and they actually talk about Warner Brothers Discovery, and that was a $9.1 billion write-off, and the biggest reason for the write-off was their linear TV channels, including CNN, were reevaluated, and they're effectively worthless. And then
imagine that CNN's worthless.
CNN's worthless, and right after that, they turned around and shut down the Cartoon Network website and told everybody to go to HBO Max and subscribe there for cartoons. I mean...
wonder who said that was going to happen.
What?
I know, right? I bet did you do a happy dance like, haha, told you?
I did throw out the Clownfish was right hashtag.
Yes, because I'm
all the signs were there.
So much shit over that too. And then it happened.
All the signs were there.
I wasn't here to celebrate with you. I was someplace else. Not that we're celebrating people losing jobs or anything. I'm just saying that you kept saying that, and everybody's like, you wouldn't believe the crap he got for that. You wouldn't believe it. And then it turned out he was right.
We had Fresher Luke on twice, and he said he was hearing not so good things. People said, no, you're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about, Clownfish. Like, no, we're just looking.
Is that Rooster Teeth? What happened? Rooster Teeth? What happened?
What?
You're wrong. You're wrong. Well,
I mean, I don't like when it comes to job losses, I don't like being right, but like you can look at a corporate situation and you can see when they start. It's kind of like we used to be able to predict which Disney attractions they were going to shut down. It's like they're not maintaining the Great Movie Ride anymore. Something's up. They're not even fixing stuff. They're just letting Tarzan just jiggle.
Something's going to happen, and then announced the closure.
And you can see it. And that was Cartoon Network was the same way. Like they announced all these animated projects, but they were all for Max, not for actual Cartoon Network. Anyway, let's talk about Paramount. Paramount, which is in bigger trouble, I think, than Warner Brothers at this point. They were talking they might even sell off the lot, the Paramount lot.
Yes, that thing's iconic. Anyway, go ahead.
I'd buy the Warner Brothers water tower
because I think I'm just get my checkbook out
because Yakko, Wacko, and Dot live inside it. Okay, so it's probably got a tiny apartment.
Honey, I hate to tell you this, they're not real.
They're not.
No. Can we get to the point now?
Yeah, we're going to get to the point.
The point is real.
The point is real. Yeah. On Thursday, they're going to lay off 15% of staff and write down $6 billion in value of its cable television networks as it prepares to merge with Skydance. And when that happens, the understanding is that John Lasseter will be in charge of all the animation for Paramount and Skydance and all of that.
And then Netflix is outsourcing to those places for their animation. So technically,
he'll basically be in charge of Netflix too. Yeah. The layoffs, which will affect around 2,000 people in the coming weeks, a part of Paramount's bid to trim $500 million in annual costs company-wide ahead of its merger. They knew this was going to happen. But I think it's a lot more severe than they thought it was going to be. The layoffs will see the elimination of redundancies in marketing and communications.
Usually the first to go.
Always the first to go. And the reduction of headcount in finance, legal, technology, and other support functions, said the co-chief executive officer. Paramount controls a vast cable and television portfolio of also worthless channels.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a lot of it's not really worth anything.
Yeah, because they said the write-down of its TV business is primarily a result of recent indicators in the linear affiliate marketplace and the estimated total company market value indicated by the Skydance transactions. Basically, nobody's watching cable anymore. Everybody's switching over to streaming or switching over to, Roku or Tubi or whatever, or watching on, MeTV or whatever. Everybody's changing, and these channels aren't worth anything. We saw this, I'm really surprised Disney hasn't written down some of their channels, because nobody's watching the Disney Channel anymore. Nobody's watching Nickelodeon anymore. They're not watching Cartoon Network.
I mean, I'm bummed about Warner Brothers because Discovery had a lot of good stuff on it. And I'm afraid it's going to get a hit because Warner Brothers, mismanaged it when they bought it. And that's nothing related to Paramount, but I worry about that. I really do worry about that because most of the shows I watch are on there. So.
Well, yeah, because they're the parent company of CNN, TNT, HGTV, Food Network, Cartoon. They have so much stuff because they had Discovery and then all their channels, and then they merged with Warner Brothers. But it feels like these companies, these studios, are not going to be able to survive current year unless they kind of ally themselves with a tech company.
They have to merge with other people. Or bundle together, like Warner Brothers is bundling with Disney and Hulu to try to compete with the big boys, because as much as Disney and Max kept saying, "Oh, we're going to be the big boys," you're up there.
Yeah.
But you have to combine Voltron to try to compete.
Well, they're talking about CNN in particular. They said that Axios announced it's going to lay off 10% of its staff. So this is Axios. This is CNN laying people off.
And then, then Paramount's laying people off.
Yeah.
And then they're going to take all these write-downs. Here's something that kind of ticks me off as someone who pays taxes and stuff. How come the normal taxpayers can get to write down all kinds of their shit that didn't work?
That's a damn good question.
But these big businesses can.
Jeff Bezos doesn't pay anything in taxes.
Basically, yeah.
They have all kinds of loopholes that they can avoid paying taxes. But in some cases, I think these write-downs, write-offs, mergers, acquisitions, they do this to avoid paying taxes. They do it to
we lost money. So
we lost money.
There's our tax liabilities gone.
Oh, how much we got paying taxes this year? $25 million. Oh my God. Let's take a $25 million write down.
Right. These didn't work. So we're just going to write them off as a loss.
Failing business.
Look, we didn't have to pay taxes.
Yep. Then broadcast it to the media so the IRS knows, guys, we're not doing good. Get out the tiny violin, But they said, streaming service Paramount Plus posted a $26 million profit after losing $424 million during the same period last year. Well, have they been greenlighting anything? Because they canceled a bunch of shows.
I don't know.
They're not doing any more Halo.
Well, if they're selling it, if they're merging with Skydance, it's not going to matter.
None of this matters. See, this is what's so weird about all this stuff is it's all, you get to a certain point where it's just monopoly money. It's just that we're just going to, even the whole thing with Warner Brothers Discovery. Warner Brothers was basically the crap that AT&T didn't want, and they scraped it off the bottom of their shoe and they bundled it into a new company, and then it was that company's problem, not AT&T's problem anymore. We can just magically make our debt go away. Mm-hmm. Again, individuals can't do that. You can't just be well, I'm going to change my name to Joe Johnson now. And, Joe Johnson doesn't have any debt. That's that other guy. And
yeah, I know, right?
I was whatever. Well, I don't know who he is. Well, I'm a brand new person now. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? It's weird how they can do it, and they can do it legally. And it's just about kicking the can down the road. And all these companies, all of them are in massive debt. It's so weird. They tell, again, individuals, be responsible with money, pay your credit cards on time, pay your taxes, be a good citizen, do all this, do all that. Meanwhile, all the people in charge, all these entertainment companies, all these government agencies, they're all in debt. They're all just maxing out credit card, like mythical.
And they expect
credit
everybody else
cards.
to pay for it.
And everybody else has to pay for it. That's why
They
you
make
have
dumb decisions, and we all have to pay for it.
That's why you have to pay your taxes on time. That's why you have to pay your credit cards on time, because you got bankrolled them being completely irresponsible. Anyway,
Book a trip.
book a trip, everybody. Let's talk about this. Yeah, this is comicbook.com, which is one of the biggest shills. I'm going to use my finger quotes. Shill sites out there. And they're getting.
No, I think CBR has them beat.
CBR definitely. CBR.
The Valnet sites have them beat.
The Valnet sites are the worst. And I think the Valnet sites are actually, they're just like cranking out AI shit. But yeah, we've been following this, especially in the video game space, that all these websites are collapsing because the ad revenue is gone. I mean, I'm not just talking like they took a little bit of a hit. They're down 10%. They're what? No. I'm talking some of these sites, their traffic is down 75 to 95%. Like Google has destroyed these websites. They relied on Google traffic for years. They built their entire business model on SEO, and all that's out the window. And then what's going on is, like, since everybody's broke, nobody's spending money on ads, except for Temu. They're spending.
I know. I keep seeing Temu ads all over the place. It's funny.
They're spending money like crazy. So the Chinese are bankrolling everybody at this point. But yeah, so they probably sold it for a song, because they said before, like,
did they say what they sold it for?
I don't think they gave a price for it. But I know that they did say before with the Paramount Skydance merger that nothing was off the table. They would be willing to sell pretty much everything.
Okay, so they have a joint venture with Vice Media.
Oh, that's interesting.
So Paramount's comic book and pop culture are changing ownership. They went to Savage Ventures on Wednesday. Savage Ventures manages digital first brands, including Outdoors.com, 247health.com, AmericanSongwriter.com. I don't think any of these get a whole lot of views. Maybe the health one.
Vice. Vice is dying too.
Yeah, they relaunched. They made a joint venture with Vice to relaunch its digital properties. So they're working with Vice trying to save it too.
This is, again, Sears and Kmart teaming up to try to stop the inevitable.
So they said that no leadership changes or layoffs are expected. So there's no one's lose their job, which is a good thing. Well, it depends who you ask. And they said site staffers will be offered comparable salary and benefit packages from the new ownership.
So your old pay was $4 an article. We're going to give you $3.75.
Yeah, right.
That's the best we can do.
Okay. So I don't know how much they paid, but they sold it to them.
Yeah. So I mean, at least the people working there, and
for now,
all the bots or the chat GPTs are still getting paid
for now.
Yeah, they said the both sites combined have over 40 staffers. So yeah, I don't want anybody.
People aren't going to get fired, which is good. I mean, unless they're dicks, and then
yeah. So
fine, they shouldn't lose their job.
No, yeah.
If you're a dick, you should. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, dicks can get fucked.
What?
Anyway, the sale of both comic book and pop culture are related to the cuts, the $500 million cuts. Jim Viscardi served as comic books editor-in-chief until April, and now he's the vice president of business development at Image Comics.
That doesn't do anything. It doesn't.
No, they're just trying to pad.
They're delivering comics adjacent news. Is that what they're calling it now? Comics adjacent news.
Wait, is that what they said? They actually said comics adjacent news.
Webver's like coverage. Wait. Their leading role in delivering comic adjacent entertainment news.
Boy, well, no,
we're comic book adjacent too.
The reality of the situation. This is why CBR is CBR and not Comic Book Resources. It started as a fan site, Comic Book Resources. But you have a fundamental problem, right? When nobody cares about the American comic book market anymore, it's really hard to bring traffic. Comicbook.com barely talks about comic books. It's all movie news and game news and just general nerd news.
Well, includes breaking celebrity interviews, comic reviews, movies, TV shows, and games. In addition to publishing several hundred articles a week, comicbook.com also produces a weekly podcast and video content that probably doesn't get any views. And pop culture delivers celebrity, reality TV, and entertainment news.
Yeah, but you could combine those.
You could.
That's why I don't understand why you have two different sites. It's all just, honestly, I'm not trying to be that guy, but you get rid of comicbook.com, just roll it into popculture.com, because that's what it is. And beyond that, that's what comic shops are now, right? So I guess it's kind of fitting, because you go to a comic book shop. It's not a comic book shop anymore. It's a nerd flea market.
There you go.
That's what we need to do, is have like geekfleamarket.com. All the nerd shit all in one place.
I don't.
And
think
fudge.
anybody-
And fudge.
I don't know. Can we please wrap this up?
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.